Hello and welcome to Heart Space, formerly TJ in Your Mind, a poetry podcast with myself, TJ, and featuring every month a guest poet based right here in Berlin. We talk about poetry, love, life, and everything in between. So, sit back, relax, and have a listen. Today's guest is the wonderful Dîba. Dîba is a trauma-informed somatic and systemic coach, educator, and researcher based in Germany. Her work bridges embodied healing with decolonial and critical pedagogies, offering a unique approach to personal and collective transformation. She specializes in individual and team coaching, supervision, and training, particularly supporting women in leadership roles, and facilitates safer spaces for learning, growth, and reflection. Ladies and gentlemen, Dîba.
Sparkle Hunter. Ez stranên dilê xwe dibêjim. Dengbêjî. Ez ji mayîna re çirokên giresor dibêjim. I stepped into a minefield. Don't move, you will explode, they said. We will bring you help, they said, and left. I stayed loyal. I trusted, waited, and embraced the mine. I sang songs. I sang the melodies of my soul, Dengbêjî. I told the mine stories of Gresor. The mine melted. It disappeared. Just then the crowd came again. Why did you wait so long? The mine wasn't even alive. You should have tried. You should have lifted your foot, they said. They didn't understand that I chose to trust, to believe. They underestimated my power, the power that could deactivate a mine. They left me alone with my thoughts. They screamed so loudly. Their words echoed inside me. Maybe they are right, I said. I traded my self-trust for their supposed truth. I sold my self-love, my faith, and my belief. Then I got angry at myself for destroying my own trust. I blamed myself in every way and made excuses for them. At least they came, I said. But I realized much later, they never came for me. Now I end this story. The leg is mine. The trust is mine. The power is mine. The word is mine. The child. The love is mine. The field is mine. The mine is mine. It's all mine. I am the subject. Today the truest, most beautiful, most powerful and intuitive truth is me. Let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate the messenger between me, my ancestors' healing, and my inner child. Let's hear me closely, who is my daughter, my mother, and grandmother. Let's listen to a Dengbêjî in Gresor.
So, Dîba, welcome. Thank you ever so much for joining me on Heart Space.
Well, thank you so much for the invitation. I really feel like this is for me a special invitation because it's a poetry podcast and I don't know why I am here.
That's funny. She says that after she reads such a wonderful piece. I don't know why I'm here, she says.
Yes. Our common friend, Lee,
Mm-hmm.
I have to thank her to actually make me realize this piece that I thought it's just a dialogue between me and me. She said it's a good poem.
Oh, absolutely.
And now I'm here, and thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you ever so much for joining. So, Sparkle Hunter, what was on your mind when you wrote that?
You know how to ask good questions, huh? That's normally my part. Just before we start, I want to acknowledge the presence of two people who actually will accompany me during this conversation, but also they have something to do with what was in my mind as well. So one of them is Fatma Savcı. She's a great Kurdish poet, and I have her book right now with us, Birgehame. And I want that just she's with us after her all struggles and bringing this to the light. She always impressed me, and I told her I will never ever write a poem. And if ever I write, ask me if I'm in love or something. This is one. Another is because Sparkle Hunter is a lot about ancestors and inner child dialogue. There's a person who I have to name. Her name is Zeynep Bent Hakrun, and she has taught me a lot about ancestral healing and the dialogue between us and them, and in this healing journey. And she's a great somatic coach and a teacher and a healer. So I want to mention these two women who actually guided me. And ancestral healing was in my mind when I was writing this piece, and actually I just wrote the story of the healing, and then this particular part was a dialogue between them and my inner child, and then I continued my story. So this was like a bridge, to be honest. And then this became a poem.
A wonderful poem. And I thoroughly appreciate you acknowledging the people that are with you. Reminds me of something that Maya Angelou said. She said that whenever I go on stage, whenever I direct, whenever I teach, whenever I go out and I do something, I look at everyone who has taught me, encouraged me, and I say, come with me, so that she's not alone. And that is literally a physical representation of that. When you said, I have to acknowledge these people who are with me, and it reminded me exactly of Maya Angelou's words. And she said, they are with me.
It touches me, what you say, really. And I think she added that she would be as present as she is everywhere she goes, because she doesn't have anything else. So she brings all them together, and I love it. This comparison, even though I am far from that brilliant mind and heart, but still we were all inspired by them.
Without a doubt. So with all of that in mind, tell us about Sparkle Hunter.
What exactly I need to tell?
Well, it's
guide me a bit.
It's not so much a case of what do I want from you. It's more a case of what are you expressing? What is inside that needed to be penned? So what is it? What's the substance?
I see your hands are like touching
each
other.
Substance?
This curiosity of being like a child, like tell me. Exactly. Okay. So Sparkle Hunter is actually a method in somatic coaching. When there's one of other teachers, his name is Craig, and he taught us when someone speaks, you look at them and you keep hunting sparkles, but not like, hey, I see a sparkle in you, but rather really, no matter if it's sad or happy or negative or positive talk, you look at them in the eye and you just receive this person, and you are searching sparkles. for example, right now you say, aha, and I saw some sparkles, okay? And most of the case, sparkle hunting is when there is no sparkles actually, but
That's
you
when
still
you have to
see
hunt.
it. Yes, you still see. So this poem, I don't know even how I call it poem, but this writing is when there was a moment of me healing me. And this me, when I say it's not only me, it's me, my mother, my daughter, my grandmother, and everyone that I carry in my body, in my mind, and I realized that there was a moment of sadness and maybe stuckness.
Okay.
And then I kept searching the sparkle. So beside or despite all what happened, this person or this soul could find the courage to sing their song, which is Dengbeji, and Dengbeji is the oral tradition of Kurdish art, when you just say the words.
It's like the African tradition. We very much have that. Much of our history is oral based. I grew up, listening to stories, and you'd sit down and lessons were taught using stories. This is why you don't lie. This is why you don't steal. These stories told us all of these things, and these stories were also used to explain the wonder of the world. This is why the turtle has a cracked shell. All of these were used to help us to understand the world around us. And fascinating for me, what I love is hearing all sorts of other cultures have, to hear that the oral tradition is alive and well within the Kurdish, it's alive and well within whatever else. It's fascinating. Tremendously so.
Yes, I think it's fascinating. So really, this oral tradition, traditions, and I always like it so much. And by us, it's also music. It's like no instrument, music, and they say the story. And most of the case, the story itself is hidden under the words and the way they say, so that the others who they don't want them to know, they don't understand. And most of the case, they say something, but someone from outside would not understand the codes, so to say. And it's also a lot of sadness in the stories, and they say most of the case the story of loss and people who had to give their life for the freedom, for actually for a better life, so to say. And I love it so much. And my Spotify was telling me actually that in 2024 that the most music, my how one says, like my most listened ones were Dengbeji, and they are actually many people would say, well, you are a young woman, what are you doing with these Dengbejis? And I love it so much because the story is as pure as it is, and you can make out of it anything you would like to. It's not exposed to you. There is words, and there is it's voice, and you are free to make what you want to do with that. And I like it so much. And I think there is a lot in this poem.
Oh, I love that you called it a poem. Yes.
You got me. You handed my sparkle right now.
Yes. I was like, this poem. Yes, exactly.
Oh, thank you.
I think I know there are lots of supposed rules as to what is and what isn't poetry, but I've never really followed those, if I'm completely honest. Like the woman who edits my poetry compilation books, we have these conversations as to the art of poetry as opposed to the message. I'm all about the message of poetry. I don't care a jot about the art. There are supposed, whether you use rhyme in couplets or triplets or stanzas or whatever, if it comes out as one big glob, great. If it comes out in many verses, awesome. If I use repetition, great. If I don't, you know. It's, for me, it's always about the message. And remember when talking to you about your piece when we met, and when I read that, and I thought, ooh, do I have something that links into that? And at first it was a different poem, but then emulates, that was the one. And when you read it and you said that it seemed like it's the other end of this healing journey, you know.
Exactly.
The beginning is, you know, reconciling myself and, you know, okay, no, I found who I am, this is what I am, and then, okay, this is what I am. Can I emulate the stars now? Can I lift off? Can I? And I love the way those two managed to come together in this way. It's two very different pieces.
Yes, and I love how you actually say this rising, you know. And when I read your piece, it felt like, wow, that's actually exactly what I am aiming to have, this message inside of me in my healing, because this piece is a lot about earth and down and go and search what is maybe wrong, what has happened, and then finding this sparkle and rising. And your poem, I think, made it like a move from down to up, and or from earth to sky, and I think that's a lot also me, because as a somatic coach, I am very much into healing in body, but at the same time not staying there, but also being able to dream and move and bring something new which you never dreamed of. And I think these two somehow complete each other, right?
Indeed, agreed. I mean, it's when I was writing it, I remember I was thinking of the thought process is a little bit convoluted, but the main end of it is that people often talk about this one deserves my love, or that one deserves this or that, and I said I want to emulate the stars because they shine on everyone. Doesn't matter whether they deserve it or not. They shine on all. It's a case of the star is the star. I will shine as brightly as I possibly can, wherever I possibly can. Whether that one says you deserve it, whether that one, I will love you. So I want to emulate that and be the best I possibly can be. That's the idea. That is the heights that I wish to reach. It seems an unattainable goal because, well, it's a star. You know?
We aim high.
Precisely, and that is the whole idea. You want to, and I love how you use it to link. You know, you are the link from the grandmother to mother to you to child, and whatever comes, you know, whoever comes after your daughter, you are that link that bridges them and brings them together. And I think of my mother in that sense.
Tell me more.
My mother is phenomenal. I always talk about her, but she is, you know.
Let's have her here.
I can't not talk about her. And when I talk of love, she is my example. You know, when I say I want to emulate the stars, she is my example. So I can't not.
Yes.
You know, the other day I was speaking to my mum and she said, "Oh, people might say you're a mama's boy." I said, "I don't really care."
Oh.
And I said, "I don't care. Let them. It doesn't really matter, you know, because that is from whom I was formed." Yes. You know, and I don't know who it was that said, "Your children are not yours; they come through you." And I love that I came through her.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I think that's something that one mother, I'm not yet mother, would love to hear from their thing that they formed. Probably from the love that they brought to this world. And I think when you said the stars love, no matter if they are thinking, all we are thinking we deserve or not, that still they shine. I think it's exactly how you think of your mother, you know, that no matter how you think, and now she's just here with us. And I think that's the same when maybe the nature is like this. Also this earth, when the mind were into it, instead of roses, instead of trees.
Yes.
Probably they said they also forgave them. I don't know, but it seems
could
like
be,
could be. And I think that's remind me of this be like a water, or like this kind
be
of
water, my
be
friend.
water.
Bruce Lee said,
yes,
be water.
and probably we will never be like that. And I think when your mom is subject to that, as I would put my mom into it, but let's not compete. I think that's beautiful if someone get this compliment, being one of like star, earth, or something
one
from
of
nature.
Those immutable, parts of life.
And if you realize I don't use the word because it's very hard to pronounce. Say it again, please.
Immutable.
Immutable. Now I know what does it mean, but it's also... I studied hard, it didn't work. Like your accent is killing me. I'm trying my best to do everything like...
Oh no, you don't want to do that. Gosh, no. Gosh, no. No, I mean, okay, let's come back. Let's come back.
I'm a sparkle hunter. I hunt all the sparkles and we are back again. Okay. Indeed. Our stars, our earth, our mother, everything is safe. Yes. Let's come back.
Yeah, no, because... So yes, many moons ago, for a short spell, I dated someone. And I remember afterwards when things didn't work out with her, she and I remained friends, but then a while later I was with someone else, and I remember talking to the ex-girlfriend about her, and she said something along the lines of, oh, she doesn't deserve your love, and she said, I don't like that I'm in the same lineup as this woman, and these kind of things, you hear them at, part of you thinks, oh, maybe she doesn't deserve, but then I thought, no, it's not about deserving, because love is never about deserving. I mean, back to my mother, if I use my mother as an example, I don't always deserve her love. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I do things that are just not necessarily very nice or good, and I don't deserve any of the good things that she gives me.
I love your question about deserving, but also I want to mention what I have just realized, that many other women just visited us in your stories. They really keep coming, and it's beautiful. I think deserving is somehow, when it is related to love, it makes it as if there is a reward and punishment, and I think that's very much a transactional mindset, I would say, because I am also researching this decolonizing pedagogies, I think very much related to Western education or growing up. If you give something, then you give back, and if you can't, then you punish, and it goes on and goes on. So deserving actually in itself is something I think include an expectation. And the form of love we speak, I think, has other elements in it. And probably it's not only good, but also perceiving, receiving all what is coming in it. But I don't think that it has something about deserving in it. And I think it's beautiful, for example, when we say, I love someone. And I think Bell Hooks said love is a verb.
Yes.
And it's a lot about responsibility, keeping your words, and talking and going through the difficult situations and conversations, and sit back and to check and how is this person is doing. And this is very, very uncomfortable for many of us, and we just say, I love this person, and they didn't, and the other says. And I think we love someone through what we know about love and how we were loved, right? And I think that's why it is very important for me always going back into me, the way I was loved, the way I am hurt. and then bringing it to the surface. And I think that's also one of the topic we do the most mistakes, because we are vulnerable.
Of course, yes.
And I think when you said stars doesn't look at the deserving, I think the star also doesn't say good and bad, and they just is.
Yes.
Right? They are just are.
Yeah.
And I think the moment when we are this, then we are Bruce Lee, right? And I think but I think that's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is having both. The ultimate goal is to be able to navigate through the good and bad emotions.
Yes.
It belongs to us.
Yeah, without a doubt. Absolutely.
Yes. And if it's not about harming someone or taking something from someone, I think to be able to navigate in the contrast of these things, which is in my poet is this dialogue of ancestors and the child.
Yeah.
And I think this is all about, I don't want to speak like as an expert, but this is how I am navigating in love, where is a lot of it difficult conversations and bell hooks. All about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's, as you said,
how come we speak about love right now? Wait.
Well, it's...
Tell me more about that.
Well, it was from the wish to emulate the stars, and it's that emulation of something that shines down no matter what. It doesn't stop shining because this person did something wrong to the other. It doesn't stop shining because of any of that. It just keeps shining. It is a constant. And I have this thing with my friends, and I want them to know that I love them no matter what, and I want that to be the foundation. Let that be the foundation to know that I love you, even when whatever, to know. Let this be that solid rock. Let it be the constant. Let it be no matter what, to know. And it's not thinking, it's not feeling, it's not kind of, no. Let this be that constant. And so I wish to emulate the stars.
Oh.
They are that constant. They are unshakable, they are unmovable, they are immutable. And I want to...
The essence.
To be just, this is it.
Yes. Your listeners doesn't see what you do with your hands.
Oh yes, I have a fist.
You just keep and you talk to your hand and you say that's it, and it is, and this is the essence of knowing. Actually, I love how you say it. Let's be that be our aim, from the earth to the stars, and let's navigate our life.
And be that constant.
Be that fist.
I think this is a perfect way to bring us to our end. But what I want is, do you have anything to give our listeners to finish off?
Oh, I heard you asking this question to other people, and I said I will not think of the answer. I will let myself what comes, and I think I want to acknowledge everyone and everything who made me today. So I'm so crowded, so rich, so beautiful, sitting next to you and being part of this adventure with you. It makes me very happy. Thanks to Lee. And I want to tell to the listeners also that maybe they can start to acknowledge themselves how crowded in a good way they are, and who and what made them, and just walk with that. Wow, that's so beautiful. Just walk with this,
Who is with you as you walk into a room?
Yes.
Acknowledge them.
In your body, in your thought, in your mind, in your eyes, what you see. And I think then we are present.
Oof. Oh, thank you ever so much, Dîba.
Thank you.
It has been an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure is the word.
I'd like to emulate the stars as they shine on all around. Happily they float and they astound, a gift for all to see. I'd like to emulate the stars. They care not who stops and stares. They care not with whom their light is shared. They just shine. They shine on all, the young, the old, the weak, the bold, and all those to whom the story was never sold. I'd like to emulate the stars, make my bed in the sky, wake up each day and fly, far away from all that mars. Can I pretend I'm one of the stars? Can I shine so bright you dare not look? Can I become a name in your history book? What will they say of me, and all I forsook? Will they say I shone bright, illuminated all I met? Will they say I showed forth light, never allowing the darkness to set? I'd like to emulate the stars. I'd like to dance in the night. I'd like to breathe in stardust and breathe out the light. I'd like to be one with the morn as the dew sets. I'd like to remove all reason to mourn and all that upsets. I'd like to emulate the stars as they shine all around. Happily they float and astound, a gift for all to see. Thank you for joining us on Heart Space. It is always a pleasure to have you with us. We will return in a month with another special guest. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this poem, it, as well as a number of others, is available in my latest poetry compilation book, Perfectly Imperfect, available as a Kindle download or in print via Amazon and all major online retailers. And of course, we can be found on Instagram at heartspace_Berlin. We meet fairly regularly in person right here, so feel free to come join us. We'd love to welcome you. Once again, thank you for listening.